On the night of November 5th, 1975, a logging crew was driving through the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest near Snowflake, Arizona. The men had spent the entire day cutting timber under a federal contract, and daylight had faded quickly. The forest road was narrow, winding, and surrounded by tall pine trees. The air was cold and still, and there was no moonlight filtering through the canopy. Inside the truck were 7 men. They were exhausted and focused only on getting home. As the vehicle moved deeper into the forest, one of the men noticed a strange glow ahead between the trees. At first it looked like a small fire burning low to the ground. But as they got closer, it became clear that this light was hovering above the forest floor. The driver slowed the truck. What they saw next would change all of their lives forever. Suspended in the trees was a glowing disc-shaped object. It was roughly 20 feet across and emitted a bright yellow-orange light. There was no sound, no smoke, no visible movement. It simply hovered silently among the trees. One of the men, Travis Walton, opened the door and stepped out of the truck. The others shouted at him to stay back, but Walton later said he felt an overwhelming curiosity rather than fear. He walked toward the object as if drawn to it. Suddenly, a beam of blue-green light shot out from the craft. It struck Walton directly in the chest. The force lifted him off the ground and threw him backward through the air. The men in the truck believed they had just witnessed their friend being killed. In a state of panic, they fled the scene, speeding through the forest road. Minutes later, the shock gave way to guilt. They turned the truck around and raced back to the clearing. Travis Walton was gone. There was no body, no blood, no craft, no light, only silence. The following morning, Walton failed to return home. His co-workers reported him missing to the local sheriff. At first, law enforcement treated the case as a possible homicide. The men were separated and questioned extensively. Their timelines were compared. Their reactions were scrutinized. Polygraph tests were administered multiple times. Most of the men passed. As days passed with no sign of Walton's, suspicion grew. Some believed the men had murdered him and invented the UFO story as a cover. Others believed something far stranger had occurred. National media picked up the story. Newspapers ran headlines about a man vanishing after a UFO encounter. Arizona became the center of international attention. 5 days after the disappearance, Travis Walton suddenly reappeared. He was found alive near Heber, Arizona, over 200 miles from where he vanished. He was disoriented, weak, and emotionally shaken. His beard had grown in. He had lost weight. His clothes were torn. Walton claimed that to him very little time had passed. He said he never spent 5 days wandering the forest. He said he had been taken. According to Walton, he regained consciousness inside a strange craft. The room was metallic and dimly lit. Standing near him were 3 small beings. They were roughly 5 feet tall with large heads and dark eyes. Overcome with fear, Walton attacked one of the beings and fled. He ran through corridors inside the craft until he encountered taller humanoid figures wearing helmets. After that, his memory became fragmented. He recalled being placed on a table, a mask being placed over his face, then darkness. Walton later said he woke up on a highway, alone, confused and terrified. Doctors examined him shortly after his return. There were no signs of drugs in his system, no injuries consistent with prolonged exposure, no clear explanation for where he had been. Skeptics argued the case was a hoax. Some suggested the logging crew invented the story to avoid penalties for falling behind on their contract. Others claimed Walton staged the disappearance for attention. Supporters countered that such a hoax would require extreme coordination, willingness to face prison, and the ability to fool trained investigators and polygraph examiners. Over the decades, Walton has never changed his story. The witnesses have remained consistent. No one involved has confessed to fabrication. In 1978, Walton published Fire in the Sky. The story later became a major motion picture. Though the film exaggerated certain elements, the core account remained unchanged. To this day, the Travis Walton case remains one of the most famous alleged alien abductions ever recorded. Was it a psychological event, a misidentified military experiment, a coordinated hoax, or genuine contact with something not of this world? The forest still stands. The road still exists. The witnesses still tell the same story. And no definitive answer has ever been found. If you enjoy real unsolved mysteries like this, true alien encounters, and stories that challenge everything we think we know. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new case. And now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Travis Walton was taken? Or do you think there is another explanation? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Your story might be featured in a future video, because the truth is still out there, and the next mystery could be closer than you think.